Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 14th of October. It's Columbus Day. It's the Feast of Atonement. It's the ABC faked a video and tried to pass it off.
This is absolutely stunning, and thanks to a Polish Twitter user for finding this out. This is really, really, really disturbing, but as I tell people on Twitter, this is full CNN. Like, you never go full CNN. ABC went full CNN. They literally used, and go right into it, they literally used a video stock footage from a military shootout. Guys were having fun at a range in Kentucky in 2017. And ABC used that footage to say that Turkey was slaughtering the Kurds. If it doesn't get any more fake news than that, to say that what Donald Trump is doing is awful and bad. And here's the thing about it. You're going to see this footage side by side, and you're going to know that somebody had to edit it. They had to drop down the resolution. They had to change the coloring, but it's the same footage. And what's even more disturbing,
this person find that, though? That's what kills me.
They probably use it all the time for bombings.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Somebody
maybe.
just found it, like, oh, whoops. Whoops on that one.
Yeah.
Right? How many times do I have to tell you not to use that one again? Right? They're going to catch us at some time. So go ahead and play actually, I want you to play the Knob Creek one first. Okay, this is the footage that they used, and you'll see the contrasting colors when you start to see that some video editor had to take it, because it kind of looks, in this video shot, you can tell it's shot by, like, you know, just people.
Okay, here's yours. Right here.
Okay. What I mean by just people is, like, just like a cell phone, and you can kind of tell that there's people there.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can tell right off the bat.
But they're not gonna be able to
You
hear
can tell right off the bat this is a gun range. Like, you wouldn't think that this is a. You can see the way the things are set up.
Go ahead. So you can see that tent to the right.
Yeah.
You can see people recording it on their cell phones.
Right. Yeah, so that was the video. Now go to play the other one, the ABC News video versus the YouTube video.
Okay.
Showed Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town. The Kurds, who
You just watched it, and now you're seeing it, and it has to make you laugh like it did me. Start it over.
fought alongside.
Please. Okay.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town. The Kurds, who fought alongside the U.S. against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of atrocities committed by Turkish-backed fighters on those very allies. A reporter, take a look at this live streaming video when a convoy is hit by a Turkish airstrike. President Trump ordering about 1,000 U.S. troops to withdraw from northern Syria. Since pulling U.S. troops from the region, hundreds of ISIS prisoners and sympathizers have gone free. About 200,000 Kurds have been displaced, and Kurdish leaders now looking for help from unlikely new allies. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Syria to lead us off.
This video, obtained by ABC News, appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tal Abyad 2 nights ago.
It's embarrassing to say the least, but it's not shocking. Right. I want to show you some of the YouTube results for this because they are shocking to me. When you put in ABC fake Syria bombing, I could go on forever, but you get ABC. You do get the first here is the ABC News versus YouTube. You do get one result. The rest is ABC, 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 BBC, ABC, Vice News, looks like Turkish News, ABC News, Rupply, ABC, 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 and even when you go for today, what was just uploaded today, you get the top one today uplifted. You got a couple, but you don't get any more results, and it's pretty crazy the results that they give you on YouTube as well. So when you Google, watch this, ABC fake Syria bombing, the top one is from the Daily Beast. ABC News apologizes. So look at this. ABC News broadcast fake Syria bombing is from Gizmodo, but watch this. ABC News, Inside Hook, Deadline. ABC News apologizes, and that's what you see from your first one. But you don't see a lot here from anybody else. Like, where's MSNBC on this? Where's CNN on this?
This should be breaking news. And you would think, here's the thing that gets me.
If it was Alex Jones, or if it was Fox News, do you know it would be 24/7? It wouldn't stop.
Exactly. Well, yes, if it was Fox News, but so if Coca-Cola does something, I can guarantee you that Pepsi is going to be all over it like white on rice. Okay, they're supposed to be competitors. Yeah, they're supposed to compete, and so they are supposed to take every opportunity that they can to take each other down. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're not shows that they're actually not competitors. They're all on the same team.
This is what is so incredibly evil. And I want to talk about this because Donald Trump ran on getting us out of Syria. Okay? And we have been covering for the past 2 years at least the constant bombardment of fake news. They got Donald Trump in his first year to launch an attack against Syria, and you have Brian Williams saying, I've never seen anything so beautiful as bombs going at Syria. The people at the top knew they were going to overthrow 7 countries in 5 years. Syria and Iran were the last 2 on that list. Okay, there's oil there, there's pipelines there. The northern Syria, the part that is the most contested, is the most lush. It's the most resource rich. And we have been covering Bana Alabad. Right. When we did the Bana Alabad thing, where we showed that they were taking this girl around, using her as propaganda. We had lefties tweeting us out, and we had Julian Assange tweet out our video on that, where we put together Bana Alabad being scripted. Everything about Syria is scripted. Now, you need to give the Syrian people roles. They need to find a way to get their acting out in a positive manner and not in a manner that would cause war. Right. I'm going to show you this. This is another fake crisis actor happening right now, saying that Turkey was slaughtering the Kurds. Okay? Watch the baby girl. What they do to these children is absolutely, you might as well look at Dakota Fanning and give these kids Oscars. You think that you got to, be American born to be a good child actor. These kid actors are something to behold. The kids' eyes blink at 38 seconds. They actually blink a couple times. I'm going to play this a few times. It's had almost over 500,000 views.
Watch the baby girl. What they do to these...
I left my husband behind alone. I don't know if he's alive. What does Erdogan want with us? I carried dead body of my daughter and fled. What does he want with us? They are Turkey murdering our children. Where are the rights of the Kurdish people? Where are our rights? Aren't we human beings because we speak Kurdish? Look at this. I'm carrying my daughter's corpse. I have nowhere to go and nowhere to live. Right there, there's a blink. I'm going to back it up. Watch this. She's not dead. You can stop crying.
Yep, she squeezed her eyes like that.
They were open and she squeezed them. Now they're open again.
She actually just looked at her mom too, or that woman.
There's another spot where you can see. And then the head just kind of goes to the side. And everybody fake crying. The child is not dead.
Okay, so even if the child's like massively injured to the point of almost
you
being
wouldn't
dead,
shake them
you
around.
wouldn't be like shaking her around. I mean, it's absolute ridiculousness.
I need someone who can act, and I need somebody, the best child actor we've got. Or they could have, what would be even worse, they could have drugged the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there she blinks again. I need someone who can act, and I need somebody, the best. And that was a blink right there. That's the major blink right there, 38 seconds. So Ron Paul says, Washington is wrong once again. Kurds join Assad to defend Syria. And this is what everybody was afraid of. Assad is the prime minister, president of Syria. Okay? There's not much you can do about it.
Right.
Okay? So Russia has decided to defend Syria's borders no matter what.
Mm.
You're going to have to go against, Turkey's going to have to go against Syria. But what you have right now is you have Turkey negotiating with Russia.
Right. And
then Russia's the intermediary. And Turkey wants northern Syria. That's a lot of money to them. It's a lot of resources to them.
Sure.
And the Kurds want it too, okay? You're not going to get a northern Kurdish statehood. You're not going to be able to chop off the best part of Syria and say it's for the Kurds, okay? Especially because Kurdish people are in the surrounding countries. When President Trump tweeted last night, Ron Paul, that it's time for us to get out of these ridiculous, endless wars, adding that the U.S. would be withdrawing from Syria, Washington went into a panic. Suddenly, Republicans, Democrats, and the media, the think tanks, and the war industry all discovered and quickly became experts on the Kurds. Quickly, it's the Kurds, who we are told were an ally, being sent to their slaughter by an ignorant President Trump. But and we just saw that. We were told over and over again that these Kurdish people were being slaughtered, and it's President Trump's fault. So what did ABC News do? Well, because they're not, we're gonna make fake footage. Right?
You know, and here's the thing that actually, if you guys are just now joining us and you didn't get a chance, you have to watch it back, the side-by-side footage, and maybe we'll play it again at the end. But what really gets me is these people in the news industry have gotten so good at telling... No. I think that whoever put that together, at least mildly, thought that it was okay because, listen, I'm used to this, right? If I need to create a thumbnail for our show or whatever, I'll go and I'll research stock images and I put it together and I edit it, and I'm actually really proud of what I come up with. And so I think that it's like, if I'm doing a video and I'm going to say we're going to talk about communion, and I go find somebody else doing communion, I didn't take that communion, I didn't take that picture, or praise and worship. That's not us doing praise and worship, but it's just depicting praise and worship. Okay, So I think that whoever put it together was thinking to themselves, well, I don't actually have that footage, and this is better footage, and so we know that's what's happening.
Right.
The falsehood and blatant lie comes when that guy literally said, here we have supposed footage.
Right.
Okay? I think they thought they were going to get away with it by saying supposed footage. Now, they should have come out and said, here's footage of what it's like. And if they had done that, they could have gotten away with it. This is what it would be like there. But, it's not, I think they're just used to Hollywood and acting, and they think that's their job.
But it was all just another bipartisan ploy to keep the forever war gravy train rolling through the Beltway. Interventionists will do anything to prevent U.S. troops from ever coming home, and their favorite tactic is promoting the mission creep. As President Trump tweeted, we were told in 2014 by President Obama that the U.S. military would go into Syria for just 30 days and save the Yazidi minority that they claimed were being threatened. Then that mission crept to we must fight ISIS. And so the U.S. military continued to illegally occupy and bomb Syria for 5 more years. Even though it was the Syrian army with its Russian and Iranian allies that did the bulk of the fighting against Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Syria, President Trump took credit and called for the troops to come home. But when the military comes home and the military-industrial congressional media complex loses its cash cow, so a new rationale had to be invented. The latest mission creep was that we had to stay in Syria to save our allies, the Kurds. All of a sudden, our military presence in Syria was not about fighting terrorism, but rather putting U.S. troops between our NATO ally Turkey and our proxy fighting force, the Kurds. Do they really want us to believe that it is pro-Americans for our troops to fight and die, refereeing a long-standing dispute between the Turks and the Kurds are occupying this land, and they just there, baby. They don't. They do not have any sort of democratic forces there. There's no parliament, or there's no Kurdish land. There's no. Okay. It was a colossally dumb idea to train and arm the Kurds in Syria in the first place, but after spending billions backing what turned out to be Al-Qaeda affiliates in Syria to overthrow the Assad government, the little white helmets running around shooting people,
bang, bang,
Washington found that the Kurds were the only willing boots remaining on the ground.
Right.
While their interest in fighting ISIS was limited, they were happy to use Washington's muscle in pursuit of their long-term goal of carving out a part of Syria and eventually Turkey for themselves.
There's no alliance or allegiance between the Kurds and the United States. They're not going, man, we really have to stand with the United States because we hold them near and dear to our heart.
An alliance usually goes two ways, by the way. We can never leave because there will be slaughter, Washington claimed, and the media faithfully repeated and then showed us the fake video. But once again, the politicians, the mainstream media, and the Beltway experts have been proven wrong. They never understand that sending U.S. troops into another country without the proper authority is not a stabilizing factor, but a destabilizing factor.
Can we talk about how Congress never actually voted on this, and they're supposed to, and so Trump pulling out and saying, all right, let's have Trump pull the troops out.
Here's the good news.
And then Congress can say, well, now we need to make an official vote. We really think. And
this is Jim Jordan. I love his, here's the good news.
Love Jim Jordan.
Don't you love when he says that? But here's the good news. On Sunday, the Kurds and the Syrian government signed an agreement brokered by the Russians to put aside their differences and join together to defend against Turkey's incursion into Syrian territory, which is what Trump was planning all along, talking about 4D chess. He has literally put everybody in their place and said, stop fighting. It's like he broke a dog.
Not only that, but he literally has said, listen, they need to start dealing with each other. We are not the world's referee.
It's thousands of miles away. Now our Kurdish allies are fighting alongside the army of Syrian President Assad, who we are still told by U.S. officials must go. Washington doesn't understand that our intervention only makes things worse. The best way to help the Kurds and everyone else in the region is to just come home.
Come home.
Just come home. All right.
But what people may be watching this and not understand the why. Okay, it's not just coincidence that Trump decides we're done in Syria. And he literally lets everybody know we're done in Syria. And I think it was like the next day or the day after, Erdogan supposedly, decides, well, now I'm going to push forward and I'm going to, whatever. No, it was all designed. It's all a ploy. And the fact that the mainstream media And all these neocons are all of a sudden coming out saying, no, 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 we must stay. Whereas prior to that, they're pro-war and they're anti-war depending on the day and depending on the talking point that they're given.
Right.
It doesn't matter what Trump does, it's wrong to them.
Right.
Okay, there's no coincidence. Erdogan didn't all of a sudden wake up and go, well, now I'm going to take advantage of the fact that Trump has said he's going to pull out and this is what I'm going to do. It's all a game. Mm-hmm. It's all fake.
Yeah. All right, so here's a side-by-side here.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border.
It's fine. They don't need to hear it.
Timed off. This is the gun range
To
video.
show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border.
It's identical.
Town. The Kurds.
I mean, the way
who
that
fought alongside the U.S. against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of atrocities committed by Turkish-backed fighters on those very allies. This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town. The Kurds, who fought alongside the U.S. against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of atrocities committed by Turkish-backed fighters on those very allies. This video right
you
here.
You can watch it over and over again. It's you can't make this stuff up, but they did. They did. I'm going to play this little clip here from Ron Paul Liberty Report.
I'm under the influence of Dr. Paul, so I'm always looking for good news. I always want to be optimistic. So I prepared my closing with a good news story. I would say, although we're not happy about incursions and there will be some more conflict, I would call this a win-win-win-win. And here's why. The Turks win. They eliminate this idea of autonomous Kurdish region on their border, which was controlled by the Syrian division of the PKK, which is recognized as terrorists. That's gone. That problem is going to be solved. The Kurds win because they survive. They have a chance for the future. They're not going to go to the slaughter that the neocons were worried about. That's going to happen. The Syrians win. The territorial integrity is preserved. It's the end of regime change. They have a chance now to recapture some of these oil fields and aquifers, try to get back to a normal country. The U.S. wins, and we're concerned about that. We're forced out of the stupid Obama policy of regime change. We're forced to pull back. American troops are no longer, will be less in danger of fighting where they don't belong, and hopefully they can act to protect us. Even the Russians win, you know, from their perspective. They're seen as the adults in the room. It's widely suspected that they brokered the deal to allow the Syrian army and the Kurds, the Syrian government and the Kurds to make a deal. So everyone wins. The best thing would be, as Dr. Paul says correctly, is for us to pull out completely from...
There you could have better news. And I think that's what the neocons are so upset about. They wanted Russia to go down. The Russians are literally the adult in the room. Like, okay, guys. They have been the adult in the room. They have been the adult in the room this whole time with Syria. And Putin is back there, and I know I have goosebumps all over me because it's the truth. When you know it's the Holy Spirit, you know it's the truth. Because guess what, guys? There is a minority of Christians. And I tell you, where there is Christians, there is the Spirit of God. Where there are Christians, there's the Spirit of God. I'm going to say that again. Where there are Christians, there is the Spirit of God. Okay? And there are Christians in Syria. And they deserve that land, and they deserve to be there, and they deserve to function normally amongst other Muslims, amongst Jewish people, amongst the Kurdish people. Syria was a multicultural melting pot. The only slight democracy, the freest for sure, the freest place to be a anybody in the Middle East was Syria. You could walk around without a headscarf. Nobody questioned you. Christians celebrated Muslim holidays. Muslims celebrated Christian holidays. Yeah. Of course, you always had some tension with Israel, and you're always going to have tension with Israel and Syria there over boundaries and things like that. But and all in all, there was peace there. And then we go in and we arm these rebels, and we want to overthrow Assad, but the rebels were working with ISIS. The rebels were working with terrorists, so you saw a lot of beheadings,
funding terrorism,
and it was a whole new caliphate. And the Muslims across the world heard the call of this caliphate, and they were fighting Assad. They thought, well, let's set up this new ultra-Muslim. Remember, I don't know exactly Shia versus Shiite, whatever. I know that Assad was a very, very minority Muslim, and the other Muslim countries don't like him because he's a more. He actually, believe it or not, Assad was more free thinking than the Iranian multifs or matifs or whatever you call them, the muftas, the Bisamas,
wow,
the mufti, the dictators over there in Iran, and obviously freer than Turkey. Turkey used to actually be kind of an interesting place. A kind of multicultural place for Christians, but the Christians have kind of been pushed out of there with Erdogan and his ultra-Islamist hardline government there. And so we have good news for you guys. And this is why the world, and this is, God is moving. This is a good thing. This is a God thing. We have peace. And that's what the neocons don't want, peace. They want never-ending war because they stop the war machine. They stop building the bombs. They stop the gravy train. They stop the whole thing. When you stop these endless wars, they have to go find another war. They love war. You see the people, ABC especially, whoever runs ABC loves war. Like, war, beat the war drum. Fire, bang, bang. Let's just keep it going. War means ratings, right? The whole Iraq thing, we all were glued to the TV. War. Well, you know what? That's not good for you.
It's mind control.
And you need to pull out from that. And now we have peace, and they hate it.
So let me ask you this, Leah. Let's say we watch the Weather Channel and they come out and they say that there is a gigantic hurricane coming down, the southern border or whatever, even like the East Coast, like Florida. Here comes this hurricane. And then all of a sudden it kind of peters out and it doesn't do anything and lives are saved. And instead of being excited about that.
Oh, man.
Hang on. Instead of being excited about that, they falsify footage.
Sure.
And they use footage of other hurricanes to let the rest of the world think that all of this stuff is happening because they need the ratings and they thrive on it. They don't actually want lives saved. No. Okay, so these neocons and these warmongers don't want the wars to stop. They live on it more than a weatherman lives on hurricanes and tornadoes and snowstorms. Okay, they literally live. They think that to be a politician is all about war. Okay, it's not. It's all about interventionist wars. Okay, do you realize that nobody is coming after the United States here where we are? Like it's hard to get here as an army, okay? The Pearl Harbor had to happen off of our mainland to get to us. So Canada's not coming after us.
No, too peacefully.
Canada's not allowing people to come in after us. And our southern border, that's a little bit different.
Mexico's not going to
They're not declaring a physical war.
Right.
They may have illegal aliens coming in, but they're not warring against us.
No, Mexico's not at war with us.
So our job, our government's job is to protect the people from outside forces that would come and try to invade us. That's literally, the government's job is to protect your stuff, to protect your life, to protect your livelihood.
Right.
That is literally their only job.
Right.
And so why is it that even Trump is so concerned about our military and having a massive, giant military when I'm sitting over here going, who's fighting against us?
Right.
Like, who are we? Why do we have a single...
Australia, do you think Australia's going to mount an offensive, like, tomorrow?
But why do we have a single man or woman dying, coming home on these caskets?
Yeah, nobody
when
should be
we
dying.
have no one threatening the United States here on our mainland.
Wow, yeah.
We should not have a single person dying.
Yeah,
not a single one.
Well, did you hear, even Donald Trump was saying, like, over in Iraq, it's green on blue or blue on green, whichever, and the people we're training will turn on American soldiers, just kill them.
Exactly. But we're not facing any threats. We have all these people going, oh, we hate you, yada, 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 and we've got North Korea pretending and going to bomb you. Okay, we have nukes. The only threat that any country poses toward us right now is nuclear, and we can beat them all.
The only threat, though, that they are posing is economic. And that's the battle that we need to fight.
But we don't need troops dying for an economic warfare.
No.
And so that's why I'm just like, it blows my mind.
But it's smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors because of the economic war to keep our eyes off of that. So we're going to sign off here.
Okay, we love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember,
I don't know. I guess
it's
comments maybe.
not just a conspiracy theory. If it's
Pretty
the
much
truth.
the only just war is a war fought on your homeland, Scotty. That's really true. The footage of the gas attack victims the last few years were totally fake. Free thinking is everywhere. Free speaking will get you thrown in jail. Yeah. We will trade you Puerto Rico for the people of Hong Kong. Yeah, we could do that. We're not the world's nanny.
Exactly.
The UK needs to solve the Hong Kong problem. They have a right to do something there,
Right.
actually.
Ripon says there hasn't been peace there since Lawrence of Arabia times.
Syria was a great country. It was a safe country. I would have felt good. The only Middle East country that I would have felt safe in is Syria before we went in there. Assad looks after Christians. Yeah, so you guys have a lot of good comments. You guys are well informed, and I just I thank you for being well informed. And we try to keep you informed, and you guys keep us informed, and it's a really great relationship that we have. And so, all right, God.
It's so funny because a friend of ours actually just tagged us in someone else sharing this fake.
I see that.
You know, this fake video, and because people understand that this is really exciting that this has come out.
Oh, when they show their true colors, you can literally call them fake news. I think Donald Trump, I hope he goes on and on and on about this for a while.
Exactly.
I really hope he does. We have a P.O. Box.
107 Milford, Ohio 45150. If you send us your letters, we will read them on air. Brabaz says, Michelle, the USA has never really been attacked apart from 9/11, but the USA wants to protect the American dollar around the world.
Don't speak ill of Puerto Rico, man. We're just joking.
Okay, so you had a couple other shows, so we possibly might go. Happy Columbus Day.
Happy Columbus Day.
Go live at some point. All right, you guys. Good night and God bless.
I was caught